Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into the remarkable journey of a powerful natural compound. It's quietly transforming several industries. We're talking about hydroxytyrosol.
That's right.
Our mission for this deep dive is to trace its path, really, from an olive oil byproduct to a global wellness powerhouse. We want to unpack its market trends, its huge potential, and also the intriguing challenges it faces.
Definitely.
This isn't just about a chemical compound. It feels like a microcosm of this global shift towards natural wellness and, how cutting-edge research is shaping our future.
Indeed. Hydroxytyrosol is a truly fascinating molecule. It comes from olive oil, as you said, and it's really well known for its potent antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. It's gaining significant traction. And what's maybe most interesting is how its inherent qualities are both its greatest strength and also its biggest hurdle.
Ah, okay.
We'll explore why its market is, well, poised for considerable growth, even with these complexities.
So let's unpack this for a moment then. Most people know olive oil is healthy, right? But what exactly is hydroxytyrosol, and what makes it this sort of sought-after super antioxidant?
Right. Well, at its core, hydroxytyrosol is a naturally occurring phenolic molecule.
The phenolic.
Okay. Yeah, think of phenolics as a class of plant compounds. They're known for their protective qualities. What makes hydroxytyrosol particularly special is its unique molecular structure. Specifically, it has this orthodiphenol group.
Yeah.
And that structure allows it to be incredibly effective at neutralizing harmful free radicals and also modulating inflammatory pathways right down at the cellular level. It offers a degree of protection that honestly often surpasses many other common antioxidants.
Wow.
So it's known not just for its anti-inflammatory actions, but also for providing really robust cardiovascular protection.
That's fascinating, actually, digging into the molecular makeup. So this powerhouse natural compound has these incredible cellular benefits.
Yeah.
How is that scientific understanding translating into the actual demand we're seeing in the market?
Well, it's a direct reflection of surging consumer awareness around health and well-being. I mean, people are actively seeking natural functional ingredients to support their health.
Makes sense.
And hydroxytyrosol fits that bill perfectly. This, coupled with growing demand across food, cosmetics, nutritional supplements, it's all directly fueling its market expansion. And crucially, we're seeing more regulatory approvals now for its food applications and also significant advancements in the extraction technologies. That makes it more viable, for commercial use.
Right, the tech catches up.
Exactly. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the global hydroxytyrosol market is experiencing truly substantial growth. It was estimated to be worth approximately $2.5 billion in 2024.
Wow.
And it's projected to nearly double to over $4.6 billion by the end of 2032. That's showing a compound annual growth rate, or CAGR, of 8.0% during that forecast period.
Doubling in less than a decade. That's a serious trajectory. Where exactly are we seeing this play out? Which industries are the major engines behind this expansion?
It's pretty broad, actually. The demand spans food and beverage, cosmetics and personal care, pharmaceuticals, even agriculture. But specifically, its potent antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties make it highly sought after in pharmaceuticals, nutraceuticals, dietary supplements, and functional foods.
So you mean like in a heart-healthy yogurt or maybe an anti-aging skin cream, that kind of thing?
Precisely. Those are great examples.
I really grasp the scale of this. Maybe it helps to look at a tangible example. What kind of strategic moves are companies making to capitalize on this surging demand?
Absolutely. A prime example is the acquisition of Genosa by Alvanesa. Now, Alvanesa is a leading company in the circular economy for sustainable plant-based products.
Okay, circular economy. Interesting.
Yes. And Genosa specializes in olive extract. So this move expanded Alvanesa's line of upcycled natural products. Essentially, they're turning agricultural waste from the wine industry into useful natural components, useful for food, beverage, nutraceuticals, even animal health sectors. It really shows how companies are innovating by taking a sort of waste not, want not approach to sourcing these high-value compounds.
That's clever, using waste streams.
Exactly. Now, what's truly fascinating here is how the market share is distributed globally. In 2023, North America accounted for about 35% of the total market.
The largest share, then.
Yes, making it the largest share. This is partly due to opportunities to explore natural sources beyond just olive oil, reflecting a kind of broader interest in biodiscovery.
So North America leads.
Sure.
What about Europe and Asia Pacific? What stands out to you about their regional dynamics?
Well, Europe holds about 30% of the market. That's largely driven by its rapidly developing pharmaceutical, cosmetic, and nutraceutical sectors. They're often quick to incorporate cutting-edge ingredients like hydroxytyrosol.
Right.
But the real story, I think, is Asia Pacific. This region is experiencing the most accelerated growth. It held around 25% of the market in 2023,
Okay.
and that's anticipated to increase to 29% by 2024. That represents the highest AGR among all regions, a staggering 12%.
12%. Wow, what's behind that surge?
It's largely due to a heightened emphasis on innovation and an expanding industrial base, particularly in countries like China and Japan. You have a growing population there that's increasingly prioritizing health and well-being, and they're really eager for new, effective natural products.
Makes sense. Given all this rapid growth and global competition, I imagine the market is pretty intense.
Yeah.
Who are the key players shaping this landscape?
You're absolutely right. The hydroxytyrosol market is intensely competitive. Prominent players include Alvanisa Natural Ingredients, we mentioned them. They maintained a dominant market share of about 19% in 2023.
Yeah.
Then you have Ciprox Biotech following at around 16%, and Changsha Sunful Biotech at 13%. And these companies aren't just sitting still. They're continuously investing heavily in R&D, engaging in mergers, acquisitions, strategic alliances, all to expand their product lines and global reach.
Standard playbook for a hot market.
Exactly. We expect the competitive landscape to become even more crowded by 2024, with a significant focus on capitalizing on those rising markets in the Asia-Pacific region.
That's a great overview of the market's vibrancy. But, every promising compound seems to have its Achilles heel. Let's maybe pivot to some of the challenges that might be holding hydroxytyrosol back from even greater widespread adoption.
Indeed. And that's the paradox of hydroxytyrosol, isn't it? Its natural power clashing with its natural fragility.
Fragility, how so?
Well, two major factors impede market growth: its inherently shorter shelf life and its poor stability.
Oh,
Despite its potency, hydroxytyrosol is highly susceptible to degradation from things like temperature, light, and oxygen exposure.
so it breaks down easily.
It does. This causes it to lose effectiveness over time, which is a significant hurdle for manufacturers in food, beverage, cosmetics, sectors where product longevity is really key.
Right. That's a significant hurdle, a short shelf life. And you mentioned high production costs earlier, too. It almost sounds like a paradox for a natural compound to be so fragile and expensive to extract. Are these challenges truly unique to hydroxytyrosol, or do other potent natural compounds face similar issues? And how might this impact its long-term viability against, say, synthetic alternatives?
You've hit on a critical point there. Many natural compounds do share some of these vulnerabilities, things like sensitivity to light or oxygen. But hydroxytyrosol's case is particularly acute, especially given its potent benefits that everyone wants to capture. Ensuring long-term stability requires very careful handling, specialized storage, and quite sophisticated stabilizing methods, things like synergistic preservatives or encapsulation.
Which sounds expensive.
Exactly. These methods significantly raise production costs, which of course impacts the competitiveness of hydroxytyrosol-based products, especially in more price-sensitive markets. So it really pushes manufacturers to innovate.
Okay, that makes sense.
And another significant challenge tying into cost is the scarcity of the raw materials.
Right, you need a lot of olives.
You do. Olives contain a relatively low concentration of hydroxytyrosol, so you need a very large quantity of raw material for a comparatively small yield. That just makes its extraction more expensive compared to other natural antioxidants that might come from more abundant sources or have higher concentrations naturally.
And how does that scarcity and higher cost affect where we typically find hydroxytyrosol in consumer products right now? Is it mostly high-end stuff?
Exactly as you might expect.
Mhm.
Because of these higher production costs, hydroxytyrosol is often found in luxury or niche markets. Think high-end anti-aging serums or premium dietary supplements, where consumers are generally prepared to pay that premium for its benefits. Producers are, of course, actively researching alternative methods, things like synthetic production or biotechnological developments, but these are still in fairly early stages, and they bring their own set of questions regarding consumer perception of natural.
Right, the natural label is key for many consumers. So that brings us to what's on the horizon. Despite those complex challenges, the cost, the stability, what does the future hold for hydroxytyrosol? Are there exciting breakthroughs we should be aware of?
Absolutely. The potential uses are still growing as more studies demonstrate its significant antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant qualities across all these industries. But one of the most significant upcoming advancements, I think, directly addressing those cost and stability issues, is the investigation of alternative production methods.
Ah, like the biotech you mentioned.
Precisely, particularly biotechnology and microbial fermentation.
How will those methods revolutionize things? Or perhaps could they?
Well, the aim is to lower those high costs associated with the traditional olive extraction. If successful, these techniques could make hydroxytyrosol far more affordable and accessible for mass market uses simply by producing better yields. Also, improvements in synthetic biology might lead to the production of hydroxytyrosol with greater stability and purity. That would directly address its primary barriers to wider commercialization.
So tackling both cost and stability head on.
Exactly. And this brings us to a key innovation happening in the broader clean label space. Take, for example, the Massachusetts-based biotech Conagen. They recently launched picomeric acid, or PCA.
Okay, PCA.
Now, PCA is a different compound, but its success as a natural preservative derived through biotechnology offers a really tangible example. It shows how companies are tackling stability issues and cost using these advanced methods. It's very similar to the path hydroxytyrosol is exploring with alternative production like microbial fermentation.
Got it. So we can kind of see a potential roadmap there.
Yes. And because of this, we can expect yet these significant hurdles like the high production costs and the stability issues, they definitely persist.
It's clear that while it's becoming this sought-after ingredient in everything from functional foods to cosmetics, ongoing research and technological advancements are absolutely crucial to unlocking its full potential. The journey from being a niche premium ingredient to something truly ubiquitous really seems to depend on these innovations panning out.
Exactly. Which raises an important question, maybe something for you, the listener, to consider. As innovation continues to tackle these challenges of cost and stability, will hydroxytyrosol ultimately transition? Will it move from being a premium niche ingredient to a truly ubiquitous component in everyday wellness products? Or will its inherent complexities, its fragility, always keep it somewhat confined to the luxury market? Something to mull over until our next deep dive.